Hello, I'm Alan Lindsay, founder and CEO of Colorado-based Vesmir Incorporated, creators of PetroDE. At Vesmir, we're on a mission to change the way big data is used by industry. We're able to derive important insights from big data in a matter of minutes rather than weeks. Our technology can be used by any industry where big data is critical for business decisions. Our current product, PetroDE, demonstrates this for the oil and gas industry. Using PetroDE, I'm going to show you why oil prices fell so dramatically in 2015, leading to major savings for you at the pump.
To understand how prices dropped so rapidly in 2015, we need to look through a mountain of data. In this case, some 4.6 million data points indicating the history of oil and gas development in the United States. Here we're going to focus on a particular formation called the Bakken, represented here by red data points. So first I'll turn off all of this information on those wells and turn on a geologic information about the Bakken. In this case, it indicates that the Bakken is truncated in the subsurface here to the southwest, so it does not exist here. And then here it shows a structure, a wrinkle in the subsurface, and these are contours showing the deep basin, and as it gets shallower off to the edges. And then this red outline shows where it's been cooked so that oil can be generated. Well, to understand about the Bakken, we'll go ahead and do a search for it and take a look at it starting in 1990. So these are all of the wells that have been drilled for the Bakken Formation up until 1990. The circles indicate vertical wells, and you'll notice here that they are pursuing structures, wrinkles in that subsurface, or places where it's pinching out on the edges. Primarily they're vertical wells, but you'll see a few horizontal wells thrown in between. Well, we can look at a map here to kind of get a feel for what their results were, and what you'll see is in pink are areas where they had better than 208 barrels per day, and in gray are areas where their average production was less than 10 barrels a day. Now we can also see this in another way by taking a look at a histogram of that initial potential test, the first 24-hour test of that well. And in this case, but wells before 1990 were averaging about 112 barrels per day. Well, we'll go ahead and turn back on individual wells and turn off that heat map, and now look at how this picture evolves through time. So we'll go from 1990 to the neighborhood of the year 2000, and what we'll notice is that now our mean production is about 181 barrels per day. And you'll see a few more horizontal wells, but still predominantly it's being pursued on these structures. Now we come up to the year 2005 and we'll see a higher average production rate, about 233 barrels a day. And now come into 2010 and we'll see a big change here as we're getting up to 441 barrels a day, and a lot of horizontal development is going on the eastern side of the play. Now at the same time, there still is a lot of area here that has not been pursued heavily horizontally, and so now we'll see how the technology evolves to eventually make this entire area pay at better than 1,000 barrels a day. Now what we want to see is where are the best areas now that it's been developed over a much broader area, and to see that we'll go back to our heat maps where we can see our average initial production, and we'll turn off these overlying wells to see that before it was just on these edges, and now this entire area has a high rate of pay, and in these magenta areas it's better than 1,500 barrels per day. That's on a 6-mile grid. We can see it on a little higher resolution here on a 3-mile grid, and then you'll actually see our system and its asynchronous return of results when we go to a 1-mile grid. But based on all this 4.6 million wells, we can calculate all of this on the fly and show you how all of this new production over the wide range of the play has made such an impact not only here in the Bakken, but in other shale plays across the U.S., and thus dropped oil prices.
Thank you for your time. Now you know why it cost you half as much to fill up in 2015 as 2014. See you at South by Southwest in March.